colORCHESTRA is back.
Our new season of auditions for classical musicians is now available. Performance opportunities for students, young professionals, and seasoned artists.
Perform a concerto with orchestras around the world. We have 4 orchestras this season. Perform with orchestras throughout the US, Czechia, and Egypt. New this season, opportunities for composers to have their orchestral works recorded by the Boulder Symphony Orchestra, mastered and distributed on the world's most known music streaming platforms.
Audition live from the comfort of your own home. Get live evaluations from expert judges and expand your online presence through our international internet broadcasts. Additional award and performance opportunities are also available. Visit our website for full details. Don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities to advance as a musician and perform on a world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.
And now I have in my studio Timothy Shi, fabulous violinist. Timothy, welcome. How was your trip?
It was a long trip, 7 hours here.
Oh my gosh, did you drive?
Yes, we drove.
Did you take a break at least?
Yeah, we took 2 on the way here. We took one in Pennsylvania and then one here in New York.
So your both parents came with you?
Yep, both my parents and my brother came here with me.
Wonderful. Are you the only violinist in the family?
My brother plays violin too. He started actually 1 year and a half after me. So he's like 2 years younger than me. So yeah.
Aha, so as you're growing up, you're competing against each other.
Yep.
Do you get first dibs on the pieces to choose?
Not really, but sometimes we get into fights over who gets the Bach book, because we do share the same Bach sonatas and partitas book.
Oh, that's terrible to share, because your fingering gets into his playing and his gets into yours.
Yeah, we like just try to figure it out sometimes. We do have the same teacher, so we usually do have the same fingerings.
Aha, wonderful. Well, you're very young and you're already concertmaster of the New Jersey Symphony Academy Orchestra, and you're just a sophomore in high school, aren't you?
Yep, I'm a sophomore.
And you already performed as a guest soloist with the New Jersey Symphony, so that's not the first time you're performing with the symphony orchestra as a soloist, right?
Yeah, I was very lucky to get the opportunity to perform with them. We played the Mozart Concerto Number 3.
And now you're playing Mendelssohn Concerto. That's a very challenging piece.
Yep, classical to romantic.
That's right, that's a big jump. And it's also a piece which most people know, the first theme of it. It's a very, very famous tune.
Famous for being very technically and intonation, it's very hard, yes.
I heard that. My son is a violinist. He's a Juilliard-trained violinist. And he told me that beginning of Mendelssohn is notorious for being a challenge for intonation-wise. Interesting, I hear it from you too.
Yeah, it's kind of like Sibelius in a way, where you kind of only given two bars and then you come in and then you have to be right on that beat, and every single note after that has to be in tune, because the orchestra is playing chords of 3 and then it's just...
And you're soaring above it. Yeah. Yeah, very exposed. Yeah, great opportunity. But listen, I know you have a lot of knowledge about musicians and performers, and some of them really inspire you to go forward with your violin study and your pursuit. Can you tell me a little bit about those people you look up to and why, especially?
Yeah, so I really look up to Yo-Yo Ma. I mean, it really just started because of a concert of the NJSOs where I was invited to it, and we got to see him perform the Dvorak Cello Concerto, and it really inspired me because I would see him performing in front of the audience so confident, and then all the solos, like the solo in the third movement with the first violinist, Eric Warwick, it was just amazing. I really enjoyed it, and it also like made me think about chamber playing, because he was listening and interacting with the orchestra as he was playing, and that just really inspired me to look more into not just solo music but also chamber and orchestral music.
That's wonderful. So you're learning from the best. You're going to learn the best there is to learn. Great. Now listen, Timothy, I'm sure you're exhausted from your trip and the rehearsal which you had to jump into right away. And we heard little bits and parts of your virtuosic playing in there. Some sound was bleeding into the room where you are being interviewed. Yeah, it was great. I'm so looking forward to hearing you in that concert.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You earned it.
Yes, and our next soloist, who will be on the stage in a moment, is Timothy Shi, violin, and he'll be performing the first movement of the Concerto in E minor by Felix Mendelssohn for violin and orchestra. Fido, probably you're a violinist yourself, probably one of the most well-known concertos in the entire literature, isn't it?
Yes, it's very well known, a lot of played quite often, but not overplayed. So it's in a fantastic spot. I think a lot of people love to hear it, and we'll love to hear it today as well. Now,
Timothy is a violinist and a sophomore at Millburn High School. Where's Millburn? Is that in New Jersey? Yes. And he began playing violin at the age of 4 and has since performed as a guest soloist. Wow, with the New Jersey Symphony as a soloist at Lincoln Center, and as the concertmaster of the New Jersey Youth Symphony, Symphonia, and Philharmonia. And here he comes. It's Timothy Shi, violin, followed by Maestro Cortese with his performance of the first movement of the Mendelssohn Concerto for violin and orchestra.
Check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall, so I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo would be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and to apply.
Now I'm very happy to see in our studio Julio Reyes, the soloist for the upcoming concert. Welcome, Julio. A great pleasure to see you.
Well, thank you, Anna. Thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward. I was just listening to the violinist. Oh my goodness, there's some great players here, so I better be on my A game today.
You may need to unpack your instrument and practice a little bit, right?
Yeah, really.
But listen, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions before. I know it's not the best time. You're all immersed in the rehearsing, but I'm going to take just a few minutes.
That's fine. That's fine.
I know you started the guitar at a very young age with your father, who was a diplomat in Paraguay in South America. So what an interesting beginning. And then you also studied cello, and eventually you became a cellist, a principal cellist with the Auckland Symphony Orchestra.
Open Symphony Youth Orchestra, not the main orchestra, the youth orchestra.
Okay. And then you also became Maestro Nagano's assistant conductor in that orchestra. Is that correct?
Yes. It happened in a situation where we were the host orchestra in Aberdeen, Scotland, for the Aberdeen Youth Festival, Orchestra Festival. It's an Olympic-style event where there are orchestras from all over the world. And we were the host orchestra from the U.S. And there was one time where he saw me working with a quartet that was having a problem playing this Vivaldi piece. And so I was working with him, and he liked the way that I worked with him. And so he, on the drive back, said, hey, look, I got this contract to record an album with Frank Zappa, and I'm going to need an assistant. Would you be interested? So on the flight back, I was, oh my God, I was floating. I was so excited. And so I ended up working for the Oakland Symphony for a few years. And then when Kent left, I continued on. And then when the Oakland Symphony stopped, I stayed for 1 year to keep it going. And then I left. It was time to go. By that time, I'd been associated with them for, 8 years, 9 years. So it was time to move on. And so I started giving recitals and freelance conducting. And I had stopped playing cello. I had a shoulder injury where I couldn't play for almost 4 years. And so I just kept with the guitar, started playing jazz bass also, and freelance conducting, and now I give lectures at conservatories and colleges on the music of a Paraguayan composer and guitarist, Agustin Barrios. He was one of the first ones to ever record an album on guitar. So he's a very, very important person for the guitar. And so my father studied with a student of his, so I have a lot of inside information. And so I'm looking forward to giving a lecture.
That's right. You're giving a lecture on Monday, so you're going to be focusing on the composer during that
SUNY.
lecture.
So I'm looking forward to doing that.
So you stumbled upon this opportunity to take a baton in your hand and you just run with it.
Well, I started conducting lessons when I was at this music program at Cal Berkeley. It was a 7-week intensive program during the summertime for kids. And that's where I got cello lessons, conducting. We also studied jazz. People that were classical players studied jazz. People that were jazz players were studying classical. So a lot of great musicians came out of there. Benny Green, Joshua Redmond, both Grammy winners that have performed at the Village Vanguard in New York. And so it's put out a lot of great musicians. And I'm just very honored to be an alumna of that group.
That's wonderful. I have another question, maybe a little bit of personal question. The colORCHESTRA Auditions is striving to attract musicians not only in the traditional age group up to 30 or whatever the competitions usually limit the age. And we were really concerned that musicians of your or my age may feel like, okay, we're out of our water, we're not ever going to compete again. And we were so happy to see people applying. We had up to age 80 applying for the competition. So you were in a good company. You're not the only one, but of course the majority were the younger musicians. So it seems like maybe we're breaking through that glass ceiling and allowing the competitive stage, to become again available to musicians of all ages. How do you feel about it? What do you think?
I think it's great. I think there are a lot of people, because the whole competition thing hasn't been going on for years and years and years. You know, there were a lot of people like myself when I was, like 20s and 30s. There weren't competitions. There were, but very, very few, and they weren't that well known. And so later on, when all these different competitions came about, it was a thing where a lot of guitarists had to really get into a competition to get any recognition. I mean, you could be a phenomenal player, but if you didn't at least, partake in one competition,
you had to put yourself out, right?
And so it's kind of defeating, in a way. And there are a lot of great musicians that are of, in their 50s, 60s and so forth, that didn't have that opportunity. And it's a real shame, because they are the ones that were bringing up the young ones. They're the ones that were being listened to by those young ones who are now in the competition. So
do you think it makes sense for people of more mature musicians to compete?
I think it's fair as long as you do it the way that progressive musicians is doing it, where you have categories. If you have everybody in the same mix where a 12-year-old is competing with a 40-year-old, that can be kind of hard, because the 12-year-old, hey, he or she could be a great player, but there is something to speak to towards life experience. Life experiences really, really accentuate more your dynamic spectrum. So I think that, yes, a great player at 12 and a great player at 40, 50, but don't put them together. Have categories. That way you can get the cream of the crop in each section, and it makes it fair for everybody.
Yeah, wonderful. I love your optimistic approach and your problem-solving approach to this, and very much looking forward to your performance. You're
Thank you.
a wonderful musician.
Thank
I
you.
remember your auditions; it was so impressive, and can't wait to hear you with the orchestra.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, that's going to be fabulous. Thank you,
you.
Julio, for giving the interview and speaking with me tonight.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Best of luck at the rehearsal.
Thank you.
See you.
colORCHESTRA is back.
Our new season of auditions for classical musicians is now available. Performance opportunities for students, young professionals, and seasoned artists.
Perform a concerto with orchestras around the world. We have 4 orchestras this season. Perform with orchestras throughout the US, Czechia, and Egypt. New this season, opportunities for composers to have their orchestral works recorded by the Boulder Symphony Orchestra, mastered and distributed on the world's most known music streaming platforms.
Audition live from the comfort of your own home. Get live evaluations from expert judges and expand your online presence through our international internet broadcasts. Additional award and performance opportunities are also available. Visit our website for full details. Don't miss out on these wonderful opportunities to advance as a musician and perform on a world-renowned stage. We look forward to hearing your performances.